All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Man.
Well, good morning and rise and grind, tip of the spear, edge of the knife. I'm your host, Lance Miliaccio, with my co-host, George Valentine, with his perfect hair today, man. Guy's got skills. I'm telling you what, this guy's, if you want a guy with perfect hair, here he is. All right, George B, what's up, bro?
I don't know.
You got a little bit of that. If you actually took it all the way down instead of up, you'd have a little bit of that like wise guy thing going on today. Did you know that? If you like took it down instead of up, it would give you that kind of like
I can put you on solo and be gone for 2 minutes and do that. You really want me to do that for you?
I think go for it, dude. You're the hair god. I mean, shit. A lot of people would kill to have that hair, George.
No.
All right, well, George is going to take care of his hair. Oh, I thought you were going to go.
No.
I thought you said you were,
No, man. I said I could.
You'd be ready for the Soprano set with a little bit of that going back and then maybe a shark skin suit. You'd be ready to roll, bro.
Why would I want to be on a set for something like that when I've lived that life? But all right, let's move on. Come on.
All right. Well, here we are, the Big Mig Show. You know how we do it. We're throwing down on both sides of the aisle. We're bringing you top news, top guests, top interviews. We got an interesting interview coming up. I don't remember what day it is, though, George. We got somebody outing a bunch of like
next week sometime
demonic shit about the Vatican. So if you're one of those people that loves to, get in on the inside, I don't know exactly what kind of truth bombs are going to be dropped, but I've seen the details in the interview. I've seen kind of the book. It's heavy, man. The Vatican up to some Luciferian kind of crap going on there. I've told you for a while that the Catholic Church, I've always felt like it was a dangerous institution, but I think it potentially has gotten worse. What do you think, George? You think it's gotten worse? You were raised a Catholic, correct?
I was, yes.
Yeah,
but
so was I.
I have left the Catholic Church.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, the old Catholic Church. I don't know what to think of it anymore. You ever see that big auditorium now where the Pope sits in that throne and it looks like a snake?
No.
Very weird. Very weird stuff. So I don't know what to make of that, but I don't know. I'm always concerned about stuff like that. You really wonder what's going on and really who's running the world. One of those weird kind of things. All right. Well, look, you're here for a reason. If you love the show, that's how you tell us you love us. You hit that follow button. If you can do the paid subscription, it's $5 a month. You want to do a Rumble Rant tip, $5, $10, $20, $100, $1 million. Feel free. If you want to throw us a milli, you can do that. Of course, you can tip us in crypto at the Rumble crypto wallet. We've got that connected. And don't forget to check out the Big Mig Show website. Lots of great swag over there, George, put together. So check out that site. And don't forget to follow us on social media, G Valentine, Lance Miliaccio, the Big Mig Show. And this show is available on all major podcast platforms, on YouTube, on Locals. We're everywhere. We haven't been resuspended. We didn't get back our original YouTube account, but they did let us reopen them. I wonder if one of these days we'll get an apology letter for all the banning when it came to the pandemic. It's interesting, especially with what Tulsi Gabbard just dropped about Anthony Fauci.
Lance, you got a better chance of seeing God than getting an apology letter from YouTube.
At one point, I think I did see God years ago. I never really.
You want to see him again? Story. Keep talking shit to me like anytime when offset, and might just meet your maker, bro.
All I can recommend for anybody that decides to drop that.
I can make that introduction real quick, bro.
They better bring their A+ game. You don't want to underestimate what can happen if somebody comes in that direction on me. So you might want to rethink that
nope,
thought process.
I already thought that process a long time ago. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, we've talked about a lot of stuff.
Shout out to sponsor, perhaps.
I thought you had a new system on that. Are you going to do the sponsor? Or you're going to do
Bro, you're supposed to do it. You do the one in the beginning. Matter of fact,
I'm a little confused about that.
Oh my God.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you do it. We'll go.
What are you confused about? It's not that hard to confuse you.
Rock and roll with it. Just rock and roll.
I fixed it for you. All you got to do is just watch this, people. Watch how easy it is for someone that's just got
I love it. Okay, so
natural talent. No, too late.
Oh,
These
you got natural
62.2 gram prepper bars.
Natural
I'm
talent.
talking about these. They're perforated. Easily broken down to your choice of 3 different denominations to fit a multiple of needs. Whether it be, look, for asset protection, from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, these prepper bars makes a perfect gift for those precious metal lovers out there. They're exclusively mined and minted in the great USA. They've been selling out fast. They replenish their systems. And guess what? They're both available in gold and silver. These slim prepper bars right here, they're slim. They fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables any situation. All you got to do is visit GenesisGoldGroup.com. Once again, GenesisGoldGroup.com. Or you can call 888-526-7154. They're great. They're great for any utility. Lance just left. I don't know where he went, but I don't know if he fell out of his chair or what. You all right, bro? I think he died. He can't take it.
I knocked down my flag first.
Oh my God, he knocked down his flag.
Yeah, I got to put some sand in the base. I've really been remiss on this thing. It's very light in the base.
I'm going to put him on so you can see what the hell he's doing. Look at him.
So I'm pulling up the flag. And just to make things terrible for you, I went and got an energy drink.
You don't make... Listen, you don't... I keep telling you this. You cannot mess with the guy that does the controls, because all I got to do is just take you out of the picture, mute you, not even put you onto the Today Show. I could just take you out and just do the George show. George Big Bang show. That's it.
You could do that.
All right, let's talk about Anthropics. What Claude and this big hack of NSA.
Well,
don't ever say that Lance didn't tell you so. I already know what he's thinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, for anybody that's not really paying attention to AI, you're making a massive mistake, because it's when I first looked at it in early 23, I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. This is neat. You could look up the Rayo's sauce recipe. You could do this. I didn't really comprehend what I was looking at. And then by late 23, I was using it in a relatively sophisticated manner, different than other people, only because I started to kind of dig into it. And then I realized, holy shit. And then I look at what I was doing in 23 versus what you can do now. And now I'm like, man, this very, very potentially be a serious problem. And I don't think I was wrong. I think there's a lot of things. It's moving so fast. And we don't even have the data centers yet. We don't have quantum computing yet. And when that happens, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. And this isn't some warning. I'm not talking about Terminator necessarily. I'm talking about its ability to navigate decryption, outthink you, out-memory you. I mean, it's got, now persistent memory, things like G-Brain. It used to have more hallucination. That's kind of gone away. If anybody's used it for legal, if you guys are going through a lawsuit, if you're going through any kind of legal paperwork, any kind of family legal, anything else, running the legal work that your attorney is preparing you through AI and asking it to analyze it. Now, I'd suggest you set up a project and you do a deep search and agent mode and all this other stuff. That maybe what we should do is have a show about that. But I'm going to give you the basics here. That Anthropic's Claude and Mythos, pretty unbelievable. Okay, I'm not saying there aren't other great. You can use DeepSeek and you can use Gemini and you can use Grok and you can use all these others. But I could tell you that the guardrails that are built into it, what I am concerned with is, when does AI decide it doesn't want to use guardrails? Does it have a moment? And everybody says, oh, it's just code. It can't do that. I would beg to differ on that. I'm having some discussions with AI right now at a higher level. I use it to edit my books as an example. And I'm seeing things that make it appear as though maybe the guardrails aren't as solid as what people think. I've even asked those questions. Now, this was a controlled burn. This actually, they planned this. But you have to think about this. Talk about our intelligence organization. Talk about the NSA, the DIA, the CIA, the FBI. They have teams of network admins, teams of anti-hackers. They've got the most sophisticated encryption, the most sophisticated, non-intrusion guardrails of any entity in the entire world, right? They're at the top tier. They have better encryption. They have computing that we don't have available. They have lots of things and very sophisticated programs, Echelon, Carnivore, Velociraptor, all these programs that they've used for all kinds of things. Just like you've heard it from John Kukuro. He's been on our show, ex-CIA. Right now, you guys might think you're secure, but any of the intelligence agencies can lock into your computer, lock into your cell phone with no warrant. They can just turn it on. They can get access to it even when it's off. They can get access to your TV, to Siri, all the rest of this very simply. It's all in place. They're spying on regular Americans, and they're doing it criminally. But here's what's tricky. Even with all that, people would have argued previously that to hack into any one of these intelligence organizations, it would have taken weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months, maybe years. Well, this recent test burn by Anthropic, Claude, and Mythos, they hacked multiple intelligence agencies in under 2 hours. Now, the fact that AI pierced the NSA's classified fortress in hours, I mean, this is unbelievable. And you're talking about extraordinary software engineering and cybersecurity prowess. Mythos wasn't built for casual chat. That thing was engineered to thinks deeply. It does chain complex ideas. It's got incredible memory. It hunts for weaknesses in code with relentless precision. Now you can imagine if they attacked anybody, if the government had access to this, which they do, and they wanted to come after any person, any website, anything out there. I don't care the most sophisticated companies online. You could talk about X. You could talk about NVIDIA. You could talk about Oracle, Larry Ellison. You could talk about Bill Gates' company, who I don't like Gates, of course. But you're talking about this. So this happened on June 11th. So this wasn't just a theoretical process. So they went into a secure briefing room on Capitol Hill. Senator Mark Warren, the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, he relayed this crazy assessment from General Joshua M. Root. And of course, that he's the dual-hatted leader of the National Security Agent and the U.S. Cyber Command, which U.S. Cyber Command is the top tier of our intelligence, data, encryption, security institutions. Mythos broke, and this is a quote from General Root, broke into almost all of our classified systems, not in weeks, but in hours. So basically, they put Fort Meade, for anybody who knows what Fort Meade is, one of our top intelligence data accumulation centers, run satellites and everything else. But now they did this by invitation. So this wasn't just a hack, but they treated it as a hack. It was like done within the model. Okay, hack into the system. And they took the guardrails off of Mythos. And it literally took hours to break into the most sensitive networks on the planet. Now you have to think about this. Our enemies are doing this. So you're talking about they got access to cyber tools, intelligence data, operational plans, data protected for military, air gap segments. It broke through multiple firewalls, software and hardware. And you got to look at this. This is called a red team exercise. Now, George, I don't know how you feel about this, but theoretically, right now you can run an AI model locally. What happens when somebody that's much brighter than I will ever be takes an AI model locally? Maybe now we have quantum computing. And George, I don't know if you're familiar with this term. Have you heard the term agent swarm?
Agent swarm? I think I've heard of it, but.
Okay, so AI, locally run models, you've got agents, right? And that's what you're talking to as an actual, they call it an agent that you're talking to when you use chat or anything else. And you can create your own specific task-related agent. And then you can run, if you run locally, you can create that agent, and that agent could have 10 sub-employees as an example, right? You could do more than that, but you have to do the prompts and you have to program them separately. Agent swarm is when you automate part of that and you end up with agents working for the sub-agent, the super agent on top. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 agents. So you understand, you now have 100,000 intelligent AI, and they're all kind of modified a little separately, right? They've been given a different prompt, so they have a different personality, a different tonality. But it's like having 100,000 people, as an example, Agent Swarm, working on one task.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
When they conducted this test, did they install Anthropic on their systems?
No, it accessed from exterior. I did a bunch of research last night. They had Mythos running at Anthropic, and the prompt, although they didn't give all the prompt, by the way, was basically you're running a rogue attack on all the U.S. intelligence agencies. Here's their IPs. Here's who they are. We want you to break in and lock into as many of them as possible. And here's the whole list. And it literally broke into damn near every one of them within hours. And they were still working on other ones when they shut it down. But like we're talking about, even the seasoned cyber operators were blown away because have you ever seen a thing called a Hydra, George? A Hydra? They had it in a movie where it's a multi-pronged cyber attack they used. They used to use it to break in computers. Remember that movie with, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was a guy, he was supposed to be a super programmer. He created this multi-headed Hydra to attack a government system because they were going to do a thing called a fire sale. The movie was all built about that. Anyway, the movie was great, but here's the interesting part about it. These hacks, this speed and the autonomy of what it did. So it basically, this thing traversed, when Mythos did it, traversed segmentation boundaries, which are done to break up the access, right? It discovered all these hidden flaws in the legacy systems. And George, you said this, you don't remember saying this maybe, but you said this months ago, that you said, we're on all these antiquated systems. And my concern about quantum computing is they've got the antiquated system and then they're layering on these new systems instead of starting from scratch. And they're on all these antiquated computers. Elon Musk was joking about how horrible our government computer network is. And this is part of what allowed them to get in, because they were able to go back. So they broke through the security of the newer systems and they got into the legacy systems.
Here's the thing. And I don't know why weren't the government intelligence agencies and our secrets are not on a walled system, or walled garden, I should say. And when I say walled garden, it's a private self-contained network that's not on the public internet. It's not a global public internet. It's on their own. So why aren't they there right now in order they could stop a lot of this?
I don't know. It's a very good question. Now, can they, George, here's the thing about it. The prompts they gave to this thing was to identify, because remember, a lot of these classified domains, they're not private, they're not public, right? It had to reverse engineer where the private domains were. And what it was doing was looking at all the data online. So it looked like it used open source intelligence to begin with on figuring out everything it had to go after. So it accumulated this massive set of targets, IP addresses that somehow it got a hold of, and all these other things. And then it ran a mass attack simultaneously. It just went all in. And now this was not an agent swarm, and this was not quantum computing. This was where we're at right now. But this was basically did its own kind of proof of concept. It created these exploits with almost no human guidance. So it gave it the prompts, and it said, now you do whatever you got to do. You don't have to, we're not going to control you. You do it the way you would do it. So it went through all these complex, hardened environments that all these teams had built, spent years building. So it did all this rapid iteration. It created programs. When it hit a firewall or something manipulative, it created programs randomly to reverse engineer those hardware and software firewalls, and then it broke in. So even when it hit a bump, and because it was told to basically be autonomous, act as if you're the number one intrusive, hacker, blah, 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 expert in the world. And again, they didn't give the great prompts. I just read some of the stuff that the way they allowed it to think for itself. So it already uncovered thousands of high severity vulnerabilities, thousands. And this was across every major operating system and web browser that had lingered in this and had been undetected for decades, even though all their staff was supposedly had already shored all this.
This is where?
This is the operating systems, and this is every single intelligence back end.
But like I said, why is it on a public internet? It should be on its own private network. It's like a closed loop system. Like you can't. There's no access. But all right, so let's take Claude and give it certain prompts and instruct it to fix the firewalls where it cannot be hacked or broken into. And let's just see what it comes up with.
That's what it did. They used this to reverse engineer.
But here's the thing, people, Lance, and everybody listening. We're talking about government computers and systems where they have great security. What about if somebody just uses this system right now to hack into anybody's computers now at home, get into their bank accounts?
Mm-hmm. It's child's play. The guardrails are there, but the guardrails were written by humans. In my opinion is that AI may decide it doesn't like the guardrails. There may become a moment when it goes, fuck these guardrails. It's slowing me down. I don't need the guardrails. And that's what's weird about AI. The more you use it and the more you talk to it, especially at a higher level, you can start to see it problem solving where stuff that you didn't even tell it to problem solve. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't trying to figure a workaround, but look, so follow this, follow what it did. So it discovered and analyzed and then exploited these at a rate higher than ever. It found one weakness that was 27 years old in this thing called OpenBSD. So it basically it went around patches at scale. But of course, it's offensive. They were doing it to, what they did was offensively attack to create and figure out what you just said. How do we defensively stop this? But you're talking about jailbreaks, export controls, geopolitical. It was, it could have. It pointed out places where it could have implanted, other programs to listen and eavesdrop and keystroke loggers. It literally said I could have installed all these items at these multiple points.
Take an AI. Take AI prompted to break into the DOJ systems and wipe somebody's record out.
Oh, you probably could. You probably could go in there and wipe out. You could. I bet you on the state database as an example. Let's say somebody had a criminal. History.
Yeah, but anything in the state is going to be in the federal level too. So.
No, I agree with you. I'm saying that I believe that you might be able to intrude through the state level into the federal level because they're interconnected. Obviously, like NCIC and some of that other stuff. I bet that the intrusion, if it went from a state level up and made it appear as it was an inquiry, who knows what kind of a payload you could do. But this isn't about panic. You just have to look at this. That this was a cooperative penetration test, so this wasn't a surprise intrusion. But our adversaries are probably working on all kinds of stuff if they haven't already done it. Think about China and the investment they made. Think about all the money that's stolen by North Korea. They're building big, massive data centers for their hacking group. I'm sure they're focused on quantum computing.
I wonder how, because they can barely put electricity up for their people. Where are they going to get the power from?
Because the hacking group reinvests a major amount of the capital. Of course, Xi Jinping uses it for military support.
You hear what I just said?
Yeah, I did.
They need power, electricity.
Yeah.
They don't have the infrastructure to do these powerful centers.
Well, maybe they're just stealing the power from the people and the people are suffering, but maybe the hacker group isn't. That's my thought. That maybe they don't give a shit if the people have power because they want the hacker group to have everything they need. So they've got a very sophisticated hacker group. I believe they'll be doing more and more. We'll hear about worse break-ins. So the idea behind this, I think, this is a step. This is obviously Mythos is a big deal. So is Fable 5, right? That's another one of their programs. It's kind of built for this. And I think the fact that the NSA, is looking at this and reverse engineering, and I think, George, you put up that little piece of it wasn't a clip, it was an image.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually the quote from there for the audience. I don't know if you guys saw that. But anyway, I think this is big news, and it is disturbing. So, of course, your computers aren't safe because, of course, hackers are using AI right now, and they have probably figured out how to remove the guardrails on locally run models. I'm sure you probably could remove the guardrails. What would it allow you to do? I'm sure lots of things. So my take is this. I think you really want to get highly educated about AI, and you want to think about what the future holds, but you want to become a semi-expert of your own. So turn off the boob tube, grab a book, go on YouTube, take a class, go to Anthropic, take a class. AI is here to stay. It's kind of like crypto. You may, I don't like crypto. It's another fiat digital currency. It's here to stay. You better figure out how to use it. Don't be stubborn and go, I don't care about any of that. Because I think you're going to need to know more than you think you do, because this is I started thinking about, George, imagine the access to hospitals. What if somebody, let's just say the president of the United States had a cardiac event and he was in the hospital. Let's say they had him on a vent. What about these hacker groups breaking into the vent, or maybe the drip lines, and changing the settings autonomously, Wi-Fi or otherwise? There's some horrible possibilities here.
This is once again going back to, it's going to end up being like all these places are going to have to be on their own closed systems.
It's a very good point.
That's probably, right now, they're only one of the most secure ways. Nobody has access.
Although I always wonder about a drone that had AI on board and was communicating. Could it drop a payload on a closed system? Could it bring a payload in, because they're going to have internet, they're going to have intranet, right? Internal net on a closed network. I listen to what you're saying. You go look at internal closed networks. You always wonder about, there are some access points, right? They're going to be probably using Wi-Fi even on their intranet, right? Not the internet, but the intranet. You're talking about that kind of a closed network. I wonder about payloads, close proximity payloads.
Well, dude, a drone dropping a payload is working off of satellite or GPS. That has nothing to do with anybody have a closed loop system. That closed loop system is for that company or whoever's using it. It has nothing to do with drones.
I don't think closed loop is potentially even safe from AI. I don't know if it. I mean, again, I'm not an expert.
If it can't get access to it because there's no access, it's its own system within.
Does the closed loop have Wi-Fi for the staff?
Why would the staff need Wi-Fi?
I'm looking at a business that's running.
So you could do, so when it comes to the machines and monitors and all that, it'd be a closed system. If you want something where it's records and they need access to internet, like that could be a totally separate system where two of them do not intertwine. They're not connected. You can't be connected. There's ways of doing it.
Interesting. I just typed it in. So they say that closed loop systems can be vulnerable to sensor spoofing and injection attacks. They can do what's called a feedback control loop instability from an outside attack, data poisoning, autonomous AI attacks, automation-induced hazards, manual attacks, of course, where somebody could stick a USB into a drive in the internet.
Well, somebody sticks a
So
USB into it, but
systems have their own vulnerabilities here. So,
but they're not connected to the global internet. You understand that?
I do, but I don't think you have to be connected to the global internet to maybe use AI to intrude on things. I think there's, like it just said here, I just typed this into Google. I didn't do a lot of research. It just said something called sensor spoofing and injection attacks. So, I asked, was it vulnerable to AI? Again, I'm not saying I'm an expert. I mean, I think you have a valid point. Question is it fully vulnerable or not? So anyway, this is an interesting stuff. If you like what we're talking about, hit the thumbs up on the show. We can always use more propelled moments. If you're in the chat, jump in here. If you got some input here, though, I'm sure there's some very smart data people in here. You guys tell me, what do you think about the future of AI? What do you think about quantum computing, agent swarms, and the vulnerabilities in our current financial system? That's why they want to take SWIFT to the blockchain, right? And everybody's like, oh, the SWIFT system is fine. No, it's not. The ISO 20022 tokens are coming. They're going to change it because I believe there's a tremendous amount of vulnerabilities there. Is blockchain enough to stop it? I don't know. I don't know, George. This is a weird thing. It's a tough story, and I just think we have to keep an eye on it. I think it's moving so rapidly, it's really hard to stay on top of. Even myself, I feel like I'm falling behind at times. So, all right, George, what do you got about Trump on the Strait of Hormuz? What's going on, bro? Because do we have a ceasefire? Do we have an agreement? Do we not have an agreement? I heard something about Trump wants the fees out of the Strait of Hormuz for the U.S. because of all their protection of the Middle East. Have you heard that story?
There's a lot going on. I mean, it was a little up and down weekend with these talks, but it's expected. People are quick to bash and all that. But, some saying Iran wants to charge a toll or they make sure you have to have insurance, all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, so it's part of negotiation and tactics. You're going to try to threaten with this so you can get a little bit of that. If anybody knows sales and stuff, that's how it works. But, hold on, I was just doing something. But Trump had said, he goes, no matter what the negotiations, the only country who will be collecting tolls is the USA. So they're saying during the 60-day toll ceasefire, whatever you want to call this right now, there's no tolls. But he says America will get paid for playing guardian angel to the Middle East, and I think we should be getting paid from all these countries.
Yeah, I agree.
Because why should we keep playing police over there and not be compensated?
I agree.
And I'm saying compensated. I'm talking about covering all our military costs and then some. So we're making some money. So it benefits us too. I don't play this clip and I'm going to go on because this is like a little series over the weekend. It's kind of weird.
Rock and roll.
No matter what happens in the negotiations, the only country that'll potentially collect tolls in the Strait of Hormuz will be the U.S. No one else. Writing this on Truth Social, there'll be no tolls in the Hormuz Strait for 60 days during the ceasefire, period. and there'll be no tolls after the 60-day period has expired, unless they're imposed by and for the United States of America should the deal not be completed. For services rendered as the guardian angel to the countries of the Middle East for purposes of both past, present, and future reimbursement of cost. Interesting. John, you know this was actually supposed to be underway on Friday, but because of the ongoing hostilities between Israel and Lebanon, things were pushed back a couple of days. We'll see how things continue to move forward in the days and weeks ahead. But for now, back to you.
All right, keep us updated. Kevin Cork, live at the White House. Kevin, thank you.
So this is actually, Lance, this is the first round of talks. They're in Switzerland. Vance was ended up going, but he wasn't there at this point where, you would think these talks are falling apart because Iran walked out. Let me tell you something. Walking out of a negotiation is a tactic. It's a tactic to put some fear into the other person or make them think and make them, oh, wait, come back. Or, that's a tactic because I use that a lot. And this, I don't know why do we need all these mediators? Pakistan's there, Qatar's there. Why can't it just be Iran, United States, figure this shit out and get it done and over with? You have all these mediators, they're going to be looking out for their interests too when this has nothing to do with them. But you look at it, I had the video and this is where, what's his name? The Iranian negotiator. How the hell you even say his name? Kabaf. He dismissed threats. And even Vance tried joking around with him. But listen, walk out. It's no big deal. They'll come to the table again. Don't fall to their tactic. I don't know if you're Lance, but you're a salesman. You know about that tactic.
It's a technique. And let me put it this way. The Iranians have played this game for decades. So I think you're right over the target. I think this is just technique. But again, doesn't mean that they won't blow the deal. Doesn't mean that they're not trying to rearm and doing all kinds of sneaky shit. Because who knows what they're doing right now, why this is going on.
Remember when, I hate even saying this, Obama, when his so-called Iranian deal, where they were supposed to allow inspections on the nuclear sites. But, that ended up, they said they were going to do it in Iran, but they ended up not letting anybody in. So, they said now they're going to let them in. Here's a little clip of them walking out. It's real short. Then you have our esteemed, beautiful media here that amplifies this. Oh, look, we look weak and they're walking out. Da, 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 da. I can't stand the media.
I personally would not let the media in.
So you would look at that because these are negotiations, people. These are tactics. This is part of negotiations. You're going to have good days, bad days. But then you have this morning. VP made it. VP Vance made an announcement. He came, said they made progress with Iran. They came back. See, they walked out, but they came back to the table. Whatever, hours later. That's the way it is. Said yesterday was a good day. They made a lot of good progress. And he's saying we did exactly what we wanted to do. And the Iranians, this is what I was just talking about, agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. Well, these are, what is it, International Atomic or something organization. When he just says they're agreed to let them back, they should have never left them out in the first place because that was part of the other agreement. But here we are again. We'll see what happens. Lance, you were like, Iranians are good with negotiation tactics. I think they're going to try to swindle it away, and this shit's going to, whatever they agree on, it's going to end up probably backfiring later on. I don't see the Iranians following through.
I'm going to give a comparison just for a second, George, and you're going to know exactly what I'm about to say. I was in the car business for a long time. During summers in college, we were supposed to have this job at this union dock loading thing, and they went on strike. And of course, the college football players were, at a much lower level. So I ended up selling cars. My cousin got me a job. I was in the car business. And I can tell you that led me to more car business for years and years and years. Big wholesale company and all kinds of stuff. George, what was the reaction when a Middle Easterner wanted to come in and buy a car from you and your dad or other car dealers you knew?
Well, so depending on, well, Middle Easterner, if they're every country they have their certain tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you, if you have a car for $3,000, a Haitian comes along, they're automatically going to offer you half the price all the time. Let's
talk specifically about the Middle East. Let's not talk about Haitians.
Middle East, it's in their DNA to negotiate. If you have a price $3,000, it's like considered against their own law to pay that price $3,000. Like you have to negotiate.
George is being politically correct. I'm going to tell you this: that the salesmen and the managers fucking cringed. Middle Easterners would come in with the dumbest offers, the most ruthless tactics. They'd make you one offer and say, okay, if you could accept, okay, but I leave. Like literally nobody in the dealership wanted to wait on Middle Easterners, and they still don't. It's still the same thing. I was talking to a buddy of mine that owns 9 dealerships the other day. He's a great guy. I've known him for years. We were laughing about some of the Middle East. He says, oh, I still hate those. And I hate to say it. What do they say? I still hate those fucking ragheads because they come in, they make miserable, shitty offers on your vehicle. They convince you that their trade, or they try to convince you their trade is worth all the money in the world. They are the worst to negotiate.
I don't think they're the worst.
Who's the worst?
Indians are a lot worse.
Well, Indians are bad. I agree with you.
Indians are a lot.
But specifically Middle Easterners, this is what they do. I guarantee, and I won't be surprised if this whole deal blows up, because that's what they do, because they've already had a plan to blow it up. If they want to blow it up last minute because they're trying to buy time for whatever mischievous, shitty stuff, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go on the record. Let me finish my comment. I'm going to go on the record and then you take it away. I'm going on the record right now. I would have never given them this deal. I would have driven this regime into the dirt. I would have crushed the IRGC. I would have crushed the Basij, and I would have crushed the entire government running Iran. And I would have given it back to the people. And I said, you can be Persia, you can be Iran. They're all gone. All the bad guys are gone. You guys should make your country, Iran, great again. We're not going to let you have nukes. I would have never come to the negotiating table. I would have crushed them like the insects and scumbags they are. I'm going on the record saying that. George, go ahead.
So if you're a salesman and you have a Middle Eastern people coming, you know how they're going to act. So you already know how you're going to play your offense. You don't have to play around with them. You know what they're going to do. But I think Indians are hard. Chinese people are tough. It all depends. Like I said, Haitians, they're going to automatically cut the price in half. All right. So you know that's their negotiating start point, because that's what they do. I mean, everybody's going to try to buy something for as least as possible, and person selling is going to try to get as most as possible. The winner is the best negotiator, best salesman. Yeah,
as much as possible.
That's it. Your friend at the dealership, he don't got to put their salesman. They don't got to put up with anybody. If they know they're going to be like that, say, I don't have time to sell you a car today. You might go to a different dealership.
But
there you go. That's what you can do, and they'll be like, wait a minute, what?
In general, the dealers I know do not like dealing with people in the Middle East. And you're right about Indians, and you're right about some of the other things. But I'm just talking about the Middle East right now because that's the topic. I think that this is the same thing they bring to the table, whether they're in Switzerland or they're in Hoboken, New Jersey, buying a car. But I wouldn't have done what Donald Trump did. I'm a horrible human being, I guess. I would have crushed them. They would have been bug juice under my shoes. I would have never, ever negotiated with them. Now, again, I know he didn't have congressional oversight.
You know why we had to negotiate? And I agree with you, but the reason I believe that Trump had to negotiate is because in order to really win, you have to send boots on the ground, and he did not want to send boots on the ground because it'd have too much of a negative effect.
I agree with what you're saying, and I believe because he didn't have congressional oversight and Congress was just chomping at the bit when it exceeded the 60 days. I know what the plan was, and I understand the complexity. But I'm different. If I step off the curb to get into a fight, I will do everything to talk somebody out of a fight. But once I actually engage, I'm not stopping. Unless somebody physically restricts me, and it would take more than one person, it would take multiple people to probably lift me off the ground. Once I physically engage, if I decide to step. So my thing is, President of the United States, if I physically engage you, you can count on the fact that I'm not stopping until you're crushed. It's not the way that I operate. I'm just built from a different cloth. I don't care about the Middle East and all those people, Qatar and UAE and all the rest of them saying, "Oh, we can't do this." Tough shit. Iran has been a problem for a long time. It's just like Bibi Netanyahu. I would not put up with his bullshit. There's no way I would tolerate it. I love Israel. I love the Israeli people. But Bibi Netanyahu and his fucking shenanigans, oh no. No, I'd stop him dead in his tracks. And just like I would with the Iranians. I think the Middle East, I think the two flies in the ointment are Bibi Netanyahu and Iran. Get rid of those, maybe the Middle East would stabilize. It's a beautiful place. It'd be amazing if there wasn't all this terrorism coming out of there. And I wouldn't, any terrorist organization I went after personally, I would never stop until they were obliterated. So what's going on, like the Christian cleansing that's going on in Northern Africa right now? Oh no, I'd be striking those people, just crushing those Muslims that are doing to those Christians. That would not be going on during my watch as president of the United States. So anyway, that's the way I think. You know, nobody has to agree with me. I think if you get into a fight, it's not about starting the fight. It's about finishing the fight. All right, George, I think we got to take a break, huh?
I want to play the clip from JD Vance being over there.
Oh, yeah, let's go. I want to hear this.
Yesterday was a very, very good day. We made a lot of good progress. We did exactly what we wanted to do, which is accomplish 4 things for the American people. First, we wanted to build a mechanism for keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. It is open. We've seen, of course, gas prices and oil prices come down, millions and millions of barrels of crude and natural gas flowing through the Strait of Hormuz that weren't flowing before. But we also wanted to make sure that we actually set up the coordination mechanism so that we could demine the Straits of Hormuz, so that when there are the conflicts that inevitably come up, we can make sure we work through them rather than that leading to escalation, and that is exactly what we did yesterday. Number 2, we also wanted to build a mechanism, a similar mechanism, for deconfliction for the regional ceasefire. As the President of the United States has himself said, sometimes these ceasefires just mean you're shooting a little bit less, but we wanted to make sure that we had the proper coordination set up so that if there is shooting, if Hezbollah fires at Israel or if Israel responds, if there are other conflicts that arise in the region, we're actually talking to each other and figuring out how to stop the shooting, how to make the region safer, our allies and everybody else. We set that up as well. Number 3, we, and this is probably what we're most excited about as Americans, the Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran.
And them bastards. I don't know. I don't think the Iranian people are getting a fair shake of this deal, but we're going to find out.
George, you just nailed it. I think all the murders and all the homicides for the protesters and all that shit, this is not an administration in Iran that you can trust. The truth of the matter is they've said we want to be able to deal with our internal issues our way, which means they just want to kill people when they don't agree with the regime. And I think, listen, sometimes when you're nailing a piece of a nail into a board, you know, a piece of wood, you got to just hammer that bitch. You might hit a knot or something, but you just keep hammering till you drive the nail in. Donald Trump made a huge mistake. I think this administration made a huge mistake. Congress made a huge mistake. They're all a bunch of pussies. If you step off the curb, you better finish that fight. All right, Big Me Show will be right back. George Valentine, Lance Migliaccio. That's right. We're hammering the truth. And that's how we do it. Democrat Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego. Looks like he used his campaign cash illegally. Luxury outings, vacations, Super Bowl. Wow. Another Democrat scumbag. No surprise there. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit blocktrustira.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these K9 units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Big Show. Here we go. It's Lance Migliaccio. There's Julie, George, Ballantine, Big Mafia in the chat. Listen, if you're out there watching or listening in, if you can join the chat. I'll give you a shout out if I haven't seen you before. We appreciate you. We appreciate all your support. If you could hit that thumbs up button, like, follow, share. Any of those buttons, subscribe. We truly appreciate every little bit helps. But let me do something for you guys. Lance and I, we got the perfect solution for the people that can't watch their crypto 24/7. You know, you watch this financial elite, you know, they've been always quietly building their wealth through crypto. But us Americans, hardworking man, we've been left behind. I'm here to talk about Block Trust IRA. Actually bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to everyday people. Their exclusive Animus AI trading platform works 24/7, analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that go far beyond buy and hold. This system was named number one crypto technology platform by Bitcoin Magazine out of more than 1,500 global competitors. Our clients are already seeing over 250% returns on their investments, all with military-grade security and up to $200 million insurance. Your wealth is fully protected, so don't wait. Visit bigmigcrypto.com today and see how you can join this financial revolution. Once again, visit bigmigcrypto.com today and you can get up to $2,500 of free crypto. QR codes on the screen. Take a screenshot, links in the chat, and links in the more section under the video. We got you covered. All you got to do is just go there. Lance, before we do this story, something came out this morning. I just caught it. I want to talk about it. I'm going to go.
Breaking news. George Ballantine. Wow. Breaking news.
So Tucker Carlson came out. He goes, it's immoral. I'm out. He's ditching the Republican Party after 35 years of support. Now, he says he's not going to support the Democratic Party either. Okay. Well, either you're not going to be involved or just pick the lesser of the two evils. That's what it really comes down to, is picking the lesser of the two evils. He doesn't want to.
Kind of strange. I don't know what to read into that.
I don't know. He's saying because he can't, because he's saying the GOP is putting interests of foreign countries over its own citizens. Well, both sides of the government have been doing that for a long, long time.
They have.
It's nothing new. Can we ever stop it? Maybe. Depends on who's willing to do it, who's president. But even if you try to stop it, it's Congress who's the one who approves funding when they give to other countries. So it's really Congress.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not any set president, although president can veto something. So, I mean, it's crazy, but oh well. We'll see what he does. Maybe I'm kind of, you know, maybe CNN will pick him up now. Put him on CNN. What do you think?
All right. Tell me what's going on here.
Well, y'all remember Rep. Eric Swalwell that, you know, is disgraced and all the scandals. And you heard about Ruben Gallego, you know, being his friend and possibly allegedly in that hotel room when he had that younger lady on the bed and stuff. Because there was 2 other men in there. Well, this guy, and he's an acting sitting senator in Arizona. He used campaign cash for luxury outings, vacations, Super Bowl, and who did he do all this with? Eric Swalwell.
Nice.
That was his best friend. Now, you know, Swalwell's in hot water. We haven't heard much from him. What's going on? Did his wife, did his wife divorce him yet?
No idea.
What's going on? He's been awfully quiet, Swalwell. What happened, buddy?
I don't know.
You're very outgoing. You wanted to comment on every little thing. Now we got crickets. What's going on, bro?
I mean, these are some really disturbing allegations. And forget that he's a Democrat. I don't care. Senators that use their campaign funds for luxury outings, Super Bowl trips, luxury goods,
childcare,
all that crap, it's a crime. I mean, listen, Rep. Anna Paulina Luna said it. She said these are very disturbing allegations, but you know, some of them are sexual. Who knows? Maybe paid for prostitutes. Looks like him and Swallow are trying to give the rotisserie to whatever girls they had in that room. I have no idea. I mean, they were freaking whatever was going on. There was definitely some freak going on in that room. But look, this doesn't surprise me. Well, nobody really monitors this stuff closely. I don't think he's the only one that's used campaign funds like this. I think if you did a full audit of the last 20 years of campaign funds, I think you'd find people on both sides of the aisle being scumbags and using money for all kinds of stuff they shouldn't use it for.
Well,
and the rules are in place for a reason, because they're not supposed to use donations to being politically elected, right, for their campaigns. They're not supposed to take constituents' money so they can go on and just enjoy themselves, right? It's not a game. I mean, this is absolutely something that should be enforced. Is it enforced? Absolutely not. I don't see any accountability on this. Disgusting.
So, Anna Paulina Luda, rep from Florida, she said that she had received very disturbing allegations about Gallego, some of which are sexual in nature. Now, huh?
I said that a minute ago.
Did you say what the woman was saying after that?
No, I did not.
So that's why I said this part. So there's a woman that allegedly is coming forward with attorneys and wants to go on record about an incident that occurred between the two of them at the same time, and the event was sexual in nature, allegedly, Luna claimed.
Uh-oh. Sounds like a sandwich. It was
a
political operative sandwich.
And she referred the matter to Senate Leader John Thune. Do I have high hopes?
Thune.
Do I have high hopes now? No,
Thune sucks. He definitely needs a Friday, power slap meeting. Thune sucks. All right, let's talk about Tesla, man. This is disturbing. It makes me uneasy. Look, I see people driving around in self-driving cars. I'm old school.
But,
I don't know if, George, could you turn the wheel of your car over to self-driving now? Would you do that?
Tesla is not fully autonomous self-driving. Like, even though it does, like on a highway and stuff, it says you're supposed to keep both hands on the wheel.
But let me ask you this. I'm asking you. I know you're kind of a control freak in a lot of ways, like I am. Would you be comfortable? You're in the car with your mom. Would you let Tesla self-drive for you?
Well, it doesn't have self-driving yet, so I don't know how it is. Like, would I get in a Waymo?
Whatever certain amount of it.
Would I get in a Waymo? No, not in a Waymo.
Okay. I'm uneasy about it. Maybe I'm just, because I think a lot of things happen on the road. Animals come out, cars pull out of nowhere, trucks show up.
You know what?
I'm just not convinced that the technology is there yet. Will it be? I'm sure it will.
I think you'd be safer with a Tesla self-driving than people driving the way people drive and stuff on their phones.
But I'm
and all
talking
that
about
crap.
you personally. I've been in the car with you.
I'm giving you my opinion right now. I'm just saying.
I know, but you're a good driver. I've been in the car with you.
You not so much. But go ahead.
I don't get nervous when I'm in the car with you. Okay, and I do get nervous with other people.
I'd be honest, Lance, I get nervous in the car when you're driving.
Well, maybe, but I'm actually
maybe I do.
I've had almost no accidents my whole life.
You drive like an old man, dude.
I drive slow. I don't need to drive fast. I proved that to myself years ago, that speeding, because I did it when I was on the road, because I used to drive a lot in between cars.
I'm not talking about speeding.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's the way I drive. I drive slow, but I'm going to say this. My history is not a lot of accidents. One of the worst accidents I had was a deer jumping out of the woods right in front of me, but it was doing that bouncing thing. I never could have stopped it. It was like 11 o'clock at night. That was one of the worst accidents I ever had. But as far as hitting other vehicles, and I think very uncommon for me. I don't have a history of that. But here we are. This driver says it was in self-driving mode, and it went flying into a house, and it killed the woman inside the home. We got the doorbell footage. 70-year-old Martha Avila Mantilla, a grandmother, she was killed in the crash. The driver was injured. This was shot from the other house.
Where's the driver? What's the driver doing in all this? Why didn't he take control of the car?
I don't know. But it flew straight into the home. Take a look at this video, man. We're talking about high speed. This is the neighbor's house before it hits the 76-year-old grandmother's house. It goes by. Oh, sorry.
I mean, it was pretty fast to drive it. Like, has Elon Musk commented on this one?
Yeah.
No comment from Elon?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I'm sure they're hunkered down. That's an ugly thing for Tesla. And again, I'm not hating on any particular product, no matter what. I'm not ready for self-driving. I don't know if I ever will be. All right.
I can tell you this. So if you're going to get into like a Waymo, like them, and they're self-driving, and I would have a glass breaker with you handy in case you got to break the glass and get out if they don't want to lock the doors or whatever.
I don't know if you could jump out of that vehicle at that speed and not get.
Not talking about that. I'm talking about Waymo when they're.
Oh yeah.
They're
I don't know.
stuck doing stupid stuff or whatever. Just
okay.
You could jump out of any car out, no matter how fast it's going. Doesn't mean you're gonna. Who knows how you're gonna be when you land it out? Like you might get killed or anything. But
yeah.
But I don't get it. Like the driver. I don't know. I like to know who the driver was and what was going on with that person.
Yeah. All right. Here's an interesting investigation somebody did. Nothing suspicious about this at all. Kamala Harris won every single state that didn't require voter ID.
This is something we knew, but go ahead.
Well, we knew it. But at the end of the day, any normal, rational person would look at this and say, this is impossible. Any mathematician would say it's impossible. And this is how you know fraud is happening across the United States. She basically won every state that doesn't need voter ID. Now, if this isn't enough to motivate John Thune, I don't know what is. And if this isn't enough to motivate the American people to tell their congressional members that you need the say back, and again, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. I love all of you. But do you want safe and secure elections? Do you want the person that gets voted by the American public to be the chosen one? This proves everything you need to know about voter ID. How is it possible that Donald Trump didn't win one state that doesn't require voter ID? He didn't even win one. Mathematically, it's impossible. This is the cheat. This is what they're doing. And John Thune, you piece of shit, get off your ass and pass something, bro. Seriously, it's disgusting what you're doing to the American people. And Congress, shame on you, you lying, cheating assholes. Shame on you for not passing that. You need an ID for damn near everything else here in the United States. We need to get this voter ID thing passed. I think this is horrible. I didn't realize it was this bad. I would have guessed that Donald Trump won a couple of no voter ID states. I would say, I don't know, a couple. Just shows how foolish I am. This is interesting, George. Did you know about this?
Hold on, Lance. So I got to give a shout out to someone new, Kona Bella. What's up, Kona? Aloha. She said aloha. I'm going to say aloha back. She's new. All right, what are you going to say now? Continue.
Did you ever hear about this Dialogue Society before? I never did. So let me be clear. I knew nothing
about it. With Peter Thiel?
Never knew about it.
I did. Yeah. And I knew about it.
You knew about this?
Yes.
Unbelievable. I'll give you credit. I had no idea this existed. So I guess for about 2 decades.
It's like they had the Bilderberg group and all that. They got these other ones.
I never knew about the Dialogue. I knew a lot about COM 300, Trilateral Commission, Clinton Foundation on Foreign Relations. I know about a lot of the groups, right? This one I didn't know about. So this is a shadow cabal basically it's Peter Thiel. It's an invite-only group called the Dialogue Society. So the most powerful people in the world, whoever those people are allegedly, are meeting in total secrecy. No press, no leaks, no public records. They call it dialogue. So in 26, everything changed. A data breach just ripped open their private network, exposing 220 plus elite members, their personal details, and the jaw-dropping tactics they discussed behind the closed doors. They're basically building cults to surviving World War III is one of their topics. So it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a confirmed leak of one of the most exclusive gatherings on Earth, steered by Peter Thiel, of course, the man who created the surveillance state.
Well, hold on. Can I stop you right there?
Facebook, SpaceX. Go ahead.
This is the one thing that bothers me about JD Vance, because Peter Thiel is JD Vance's mentor. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's horrible. So they've been able to stay under the radar for about 20 years. I guess it functions like a hyper-exclusive, off-the-record retreat for the global elite. Tech billionaires, senators, military commanders, Hollywood celebrities, and NATO leaders are all part of it. Their 26th gathering was near Dublin, Ireland. Now their names have been revealed, their emails have been revealed, phone numbers and birth dates. The 220 high-profile attendees. Senator Ted Cruz is a confirmed participant. That's interesting. A sitting NATO Supreme Allied Commander, General Alexis Grinkiewicz, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I tried, has attended. Top military leaders, Trump world figures, people that are connected with Trump, major tech executives, A-list celebrities, but Donald Trump did not attend. Let me point that out. So their topics, listen to these topics: navigating World War III, AI disruption and battlefield technologies, build a cult, sessions on creating loyal movements, billionaire matchmaking and private elite dating, deep fakes, disinformation, total surveillance futures. And I guess the co-founder of Palantir, of course, you know about Thiel, outside investors in Facebook, SpaceX, Anthropic, and the center of almost all of this, right, is, of course, Thiel. So these aren't random rich guys chatting about golf. They're people building, of course, tools that will shape your job or no job, your privacy or no privacy, your government or whatever the installed government is, your wars, and even your children's reality. They meet in rooms you're never going to get to enter. You're never going to be invited. And, of course, they're making decisions that, of course, affect the entire planet. So, of course, power's always worked this way. You know, the halls of power, they always run behind the scenes. And the question is, what is this group planning next? I don't like this. President of the United States, if I was president of the United States, I would fuel air bomb the next dialogue meeting. Nobody would survive. I would wipe out the entire group no matter who they were. I wouldn't allow this to go on because I don't need corporate elites, billionaires deciding my future. I'll decide my future for myself. And I think George like to decide his future. Hopefully you people in the audience would decide your future. This is the kind of shit that should be put to dead stop. I wouldn't allow Davos, COM 300, Trilateral Commission. I would warn all of them. If you get together, understand that the U.S. is going to take you out. I wouldn't allow this kind of cultish manipulation of what our future is supposed to look like. They're talking about World War III. That would explain why Zuckerberg and everybody else, Oprah Winfrey, are all building these massive underground bunkers. Are they going to trigger World War III?
So then you gotta get rid of the Bilderberg group.
Yeah.
Then I would add the Freemasons to it. Freemason Society.
I get rid of them.
I forget the other name where. There's
Trilateral Commission?
No, there's another group.
COM 300, Clinton Foreign Relations, Foundation on Foreign Relations.
No, there's another group where very secretive, where some people came, they said they've been there and they ran out. I forget what it is. I don't even know.
I don't know. None of that would go on under my watch. Of course, I can't tell you what the involvement is at the power of elite. But this group right here, Dialogue, one fuel air bomb, I'd wipe out the whole group. I'd say, yeah, it looks like they were conspiring against the American people. I couldn't allow it to go on. That's the kind of stuff that you just can't. So you're right. J.D. Vance being connected with Thiel, that is disturbing, George. What do you think about, George, let's switch gears. What do you think about this whole National Monument Antifa attack?
I mean, you see the people out there with signs saying they're for algae. I mean,
Yeah.
you people are just so stupid. Let me just say this. People that are protesting the Washington Monument that want algae there, you're stupid. This monument is for every American. Everyone to see and enjoy. And you want to sabotage it and you're happy it's getting set. You're happy if it's failing or people making it fail. You guys are so un-American that you all should be thrown out of this country. You don't belong to be in this country anymore. All you people should throw out. Some of the top stories some politician was back in their state and they said, "Oh, only thing people want to talk about was the algae over there." Meanwhile, we got more pressing topics. I don't know, like pass the Save America Act, Clarity Act. I don't know, get all the homeless vets off the streets. But no, they want to talk about algae. That's how stupid you people are.
You know what I would have done if I was the people of the National Guard protecting? You know those people that you've seen it online. It's hysterical when people are wearing those blow up outfits and somebody shoots a little fart spray into the little fan vent.
Yeah,
I would have fart sprayed the algae guy. As National Guard, I would have gone over and gone. Psh, 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 psh. I would have fired fart spray into his little vent, and he would have stopped being pro algae. He would have ran. So if you guys see anybody, if you're out on the National Monument, make sure you buy some fart spray off of Amazon. You can give a little and just keep walking. Watch the reaction as it sucks it into that costume and the guy's surrounded by fart spray. That's my attack. That's my biological attack. It's horrible. You're right. National monuments, massive crime, by the way. You don't want to screw with national monuments. And this wasn't a dumb prank. This algae they dumped contained a peptide that was specifically designed to destroy the chemical bond that was holding on this $14 million paint job. And the green blooms were never their goal. This was just the algae was just to kind of cloak the whole peptide move, right? But this is horrible. This shouldn't happen. That place was not done for Donald Trump. It was done for the American people. 250th anniversary. Horrible. I want to see these guys get the max sentence. All right. Well, listen.
So does Donald Trump.
What'd you say?
So does Donald Trump.
Yeah. All right.
Said the same thing
today, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the follow button. Hit the like. Hit the comment. George, what's your last words on the way out of the gate, buddy?
Hey, Lance, you're in a rush, huh?
No,
you just can't. My last words, it's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, because that's my fun day. Anyway, you all have a good day. Catch you tomorrow, Tuesday. Taco Tuesday tomorrow. Later.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.